This is my laptop collection that I have to say is fairly large for the average person. Okay, so over here is a Compaq Evo N610c. Has a Pentium 4M, 1.8 gigahertz, 512 megabytes of RAM, and it had everything in it, but it doesn't start up because it doesn't detect any hard drives. So otherwise everything else works, but it doesn't detect any hard drives. Would be a pretty good laptop if it did detect hard drives. This is a Compaq Presario V2000. It has 512 megabytes of RAM, AMD Turon 64 1.6 gigahertz. It's widescreen, so that's kind of nice. It turns on everything, but it doesn't detect any hard drives either. So, you know, it's a problem. So, in other words, bad. This is a IBM Thinkpad 600E, which when I first saw it, I thought it was a pretty good laptop. It looks fairly new. It's not even that thick. It's actually kind of thin. And I noticed it said Pentium 2, and I was kind of surprised because this thing, which looks fairly modern, kind of like that thing over there, only has a 450 megahertz processor and 196 megabytes of RAM. Now it does turn on, and it shows an arrow. Like a line pointing to a circle. I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to do with the computer when that pops up. But I don't know if I need to unlock it somehow. But I haven't really been able to get it to start up yet. It doesn't really I tried flipping the power switch, see if that would work, but just shut the thing down. So, anyways, so I'm not too excited about it though. It's not a very amazing laptop. It's kind of cool. This is an HP Omni Book XE3. This thing here, it's a Pentium 3. I usually don't take Pentium 3s, but it's an XP. So, it's an XP machine, so, 512 megabytes of RAM. Yeah, Pentium 3, I think it's a 1.2 gigahertz. But it has an XP Professional promo code on it. It's not bad. It doesn't detect any hard drives. Actually, wait, no. I don't have a power supply for it, so I can't turn it on. So, not really sure if it doesn't work. This is an HP Pavilion ZT1000, which is slightly better than OmniBook. Pentium 4M, 1.5 gigahertz, not that amazing. XP. 512 megas RAM, really typical. This thing starts up, but it doesn't detect any hard drives. Oh, and by the way, I have hard drives that I know work, and I try putting these things and nothing happens, so doesn't detect any hard drives. This is a Compaq Presario V2000, which actually does work and has a working battery. It lasts about an hour. It's another Compaq Presario V2000, except this one's better than that one. I have XP Professional on it, or no, Home Edition. It has 2 gigabytes of RAM and a AMD Sempron 2 gigahertz. It's all free, so that's pretty cool. And an 80 gigabyte solid state drive, so it's pretty awesome. One problem, the sound doesn't work. So try replacing speakers, which are located right here, by taking them out of this thing, and it still didn't work. And this is another Compaq Presario 2000, and this thing's motherboard's kind of busted too. I think this is the one that the CPU fan doesn't spin up. It spins it for about 5 seconds, stops the computer. This thing, the hard drive from this thing was originally in this computer, but since the CPU fan would just stop spinning and the thing would overheat and shut down, I tried trying 2 different CPU fans and even cutting the speed control wire, and it still didn't work. So I switched the parts out into this thing. Now this thing originally had 1,280 megabytes of RAM, but But I recently found a 1 GB chip in this laptop, if that's what you want to call it. So, put in this thing, it works. So now I have 2 gigs. But, yeah, so now I have the parts inside this thing. I kind of had to mix and match some parts from different computers to get one that would at least turn on and work right. So that's that. This is a pretty good laptop. Not sure what model it is, it just says Gateway on it. It's got Intel Centrino dual core in it. I'm considering it's dual core because it's a Centrino Duo. XP, it's got a Giga RAM, 2 512MB chips with DDR2 RAM. AMD, not AMD, Intel Centrino Duo. I usually don't get too many Intel computers, but laptops. Kind of like Intel laptops more. Centrino Duo. I think it's a 1.6 gigahertz. This thing turns on everything. I just don't have an SATA hard drive for this thing. The cord, like a normal cord from SATA cord from a desktop or something, won't hook up to this thing, so I can't really do anything with that there. I already pretty much explained this thing. This motherboard's kind of bad. Also, these things are kind of real pain. Put the motherboards in, but you know. So over here is let's see what's it called. It is an HP Pavilion. Not really sure what the model is, but when I found it, it was in fairly bad shape. Looks as if someone had dropped it or tried smashing it. AMD Evo N610c. Not sure the gigahertz age on it. I just made up a new word. XP. This thing was actually pretty awesome. As I said, it was in pretty bad shape, so I just took this thing apart because it wouldn't turn on. Because it came with this huge power supply. Right here. This thing's like huge. Not in terms of wattage, but in terms of size, physical size. It's only 18.5 volts at 3.5 amps. So. But anyways, that's not the point. So I took it apart. Couldn't really find anything that would make it look like it was a bad thing at first. It has this big CPU block with the fan that I put somewhere. And then it has a second fan located right there for the graphics. ATI Radeon Express 200M. Not really sure how good that is. But it had a 1 gigabyte chip of RAM there that I put in that Compaq Presario. And on the other side, it had this 512 megabyte chip of that RAM on the other side, which is harder to get to take the keyboard off of that. But I noticed that, let's see, that right there, you just can't really see that. There's a lot of sticky gunkage on there. It's kind of nasty. Looks like someone spilled some sort of soda on it. It's still kind of sticky. And then they noticed it didn't work, so they tried taking it apart. You see that there? They tried taking it apart, and then they just gave up on it, kind of maybe smashed it a little bit. The motherboard has no physical problems. Visual physical problems, that is. Other than the spilled sticky stuff. But maybe if I whipped it off and everything, I can get this thing working. That would be great. Unfortunately, I don't have a working case for it. Although, the screen... Wasting time in my video. I can't really find it right now. But it wasn't bad. I mean, it was like widescreen. Maybe about at least 16-inch, which is pretty awesome. Looks like the screen would still work, in fact. So maybe it does still work. I don't know, though. That's kind of cool. This is the CPU fan block thing. It's plastic. But, right. So, that's all the laptops I have out here. There's still my MacBook, which I haven't gotten to yet. I almost forgot, in here are a few what used to be laptops. This one is part to an Ultra laptop. All it says is just Ultra on it. Let's see, it's got 512 megabytes of RAM in it. Had the 2 GHz Pentium 4. It worked, but the monitor had a slight deformation. It didn't quite display it right. There's a little banner of discoloration on it. I'll show you the screen. That's not it. That's the monitor to it. It's just Ultra so it didn't really work. Took it apart, and then I figured out I couldn't put it back together again, so it kind of sucks. Now, the other one I had here is Intel Centrino computer, XP and everything. This one, Compaq N610. Not a bad machine. The monitor doesn't look bad. The motherboard. This is the motherboard. 1.5 gigahertz Centrino. Don't know if it works or not, but it might. Not a bad laptop.